Hey, Wicked Smart community, it's Chris Prefontaine with another Deal Structure Sunday. This was actually a home that we had a buyer default on. It happens. We bring you everything, right? We tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so I don't honestly remember what the default was. I think it was a financial issue. They left. We redid it. So often is the case that a buyer comes along and they're a stronger buyer. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because we have exposure over and over in the same home, but this buyer was pretty strong. I'm going to give you some basics. The source of this was actually a referral from a realtor. This realtor has given us a couple now, and I always say, if you guys dial in with a realtor, 1 out of 10 that get it, that really get it, what you do on terms and are not standoffish about it, they will send you 2 to 6 deals a year. It's almost a given, so picture that. Develop a couple of those relationships and you get a dozen deals a year. So that was the source. When we redid the deal, what was left on the mortgage was $205 that we owed the seller. Now keep in mind, it's going down during the term, right? Plus $72,975. $72,975 cash. So you could say our base is right now $277,975, even though when the deal started, it was a little higher. This principal has gone down basically, okay? All right, we resold this. So we sold it at $329,900. Now we get questions a lot like, okay, what happens if my buyer leaves? Am I responsible for the mortgage? Yeah, kinda. Your agreement says you're going to keep it up. Does your agreement also say that you can assign the home back? Yes. Do you want to have to do that? No. Morally and ethically, you want to try to fulfill this. We try to do that in almost every case. So in this case, I think we paid 1 mortgage payment in between, maybe 2. But look what happens next. When you set your business up right, have the right lines of credit set up like we always talk about, which is accessible in our investor resource, here's what happens. Buyer came in, payday number 1, $36,000 down. Are you okay if you're set up financially with a line of credit to pay a couple mortgage payments to then receive this? Sure, then you pay your line of credit back. But that means that begs that you have to get that set up properly, the lines of credit, which is why we always say that. Payday number 2. Our outgoing on this mortgage here is $1,816.63 to be exact, and with the buyer, their payment to us is $22,20.66. Okay, that spread, by the way, we're only doing this 24 months. We have a teeny bit more left on our terms, but we gave the buyer 24 months to give us a little buffer and breathing room. So what that equals over the course of the 24 months is $96.97. So if you're staying with me here, you've got a payday 1 of $36 and a payday 2 of almost $10,000 over the course of just 24 months. Now, payday 3 is made up of what? A few things. It's made up of the increase in price between the $277 and the $329. That's a gross spread. But then you have to take into account we are getting principal pay down every single month on this. And that principal pay down is about $205, not huge, but that comes to $4,920 in additional principal pay down. Keeping in mind we already had another buyer in there, had a partial payday 1 in there, had some principal pay down in there. That was already captured on this deal. This is the new deal, the new buyer. Payday 3 is also going to be calculated like this. You've got to take the price that we sold it for, minus the spread we did. You're going to add in this, but we already received $36,000, right, up here? So we got to take that off. If you take the total spread that I just explained, it's around $52,000 minus the 36, and then add back in the principal pay down. Long and the short of it, $20,845 is payday 3 net after all the adjustments. If you add up the 20, the almost 10, and the 36, you're at $66,500 and change, $66,000. Again, keeping in mind, we probably captured 10 or 15 or 20 on the first buyer, plus some principal pay down. So you got about an 80 grand deal there. 80 grand, based on right now this deal alone being $66,542. So a couple things there for you to kind of highlight in your mind. One is, came from a realtor. You can cultivate those relationships all day long and have this be a steady flow for you without even picking up the phone if it's done right. And oh, by the way, if you're an associate, you can utilize National Property Team, and there's a realtor video that I filmed right there, and you can send your realtors to that. And then they get to see the interaction and how positive and how lucrative that can be for them. Other nuance, remember, the buyer left, and we just pivoted and redid it. Don't panic. There's always a pivot here. Worst case, you decided to do one deal and you don't want to do business anymore. Could you give the home back? Yes, you could if you use in our forms, okay? So that's another deal structure Sunday for you. If you guys have more questions on this, I definitely encourage you to put them here on the screen, but also come visit us on our Wicked Smart Sit Down, the third Thursday of every month at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. And you can bring questions like this, or you can bring your deals, you can bring new deals, you can bring problems you've had and ask us how we've dealt with them or how we would deal with them. Come see us on the third Thursday of every month on the Wicked Smart Sit Down. We'll see you next week for another deal structure.